What's up everybody? It's John Rule, and today we're going to be learning the Finesse remix by Bruno Mars and Cardi B. This advanced tutorial is based on my own cover, so make sure you check it out first so you know how it goes. Also, before you get started, there's a couple of things you want to make sure you know to make the tutorial go easier for you. First of all, when I talk about the fingers on the right hand, I'll talk about them in this way. Thumb is P, index is I, middle is M, and ring is A. So that's P, I, M, A. Second of all, you're going to want to know the names of the strings because I don't refer to them by the numbers since I have all these fret numbers to talk about. So make sure you know the strings. They are E, A, D, G, B, E from low to high. Once you get those things down, let's dive into the tutorial. The first part of this song is a really short, kind of percussive intro. And the way we do this is by taking our left hand and just blocking the strings entirely. I take all four fingers and just lay them lightly across the strings. Then we do kind of a little flamenco type thing with the right hand. So what I do is I anchor my thumb on the sixth string, and then I use my fingers to just shoot them out and make this drum kind of sound. And so what you can do is you can imitate that drum sound in the Finesse remix. So what I do is I take my index finger and I go out with the index, then back, so, and then I shoot my ring finger and my index out. So boom, boom. So it's 1, 2, that's the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And then on the last one we go A, M, I, back with I, and then out with I again. So A, M, I. Da, 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 da. Altogether that's 1, up, and 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in fast motion that's okay, once we've learned the intro, it's time to dive into the verse. So the important thing about the verse is getting the groove down and then incorporating the melody and everything. So let's talk about the groove first. Let's go ahead and move over to the left hand and check out what chords we're going to be playing. There are 3 basic chords. The first one is just like a regular C chord, but then we take off our first finger to turn it into a C major 7. And if you play or strum strings 5, 4, 3, 2, that's going to turn it into a C major 7 chord. Our next chord is a B7 sharp 9, and it looks like this. Second finger on the A string, first finger first fret D string, third finger second fret G string, and the pinky or fourth finger goes on the 3rd fret of the B string. This is a B7 sharp 9. Again, we're playing strings 5, 4, 3, 2. And then our last chord is an E minor. The strings I like to use for that are 6, 4, 3, 2. So let's start with those 3 chords, get familiar with those, and then we'll talk about the groove. To learn the groove, we really got to focus on the right hand, because that's where it all happens. So you're going to sometimes play a chord together, all 4 fingers, P-I-M-A, like this. I'm doing this on a C major 7. Sometimes you'll play them separate. Sometimes you'll do just fingers. That's A-M-I together. And you'll also have a slap, which involves kind of like you're knocking on a door, just knocking on the strings. So, to get this groove down, it's probably best to just slow it down. So here's how I would play the groove, a little bit slowly. You start with a full chord together, and then some of the chords just with the fingers by themselves. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. What I'm doing here is I'm making sure to figure out what beats important things happen on. So important things, I mean, if you see the fingers are going almost the whole time on the offbeats. Ba, 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 ba. So that you can kind of get flowing in your groove, and then you focus on where's my thumb hit. Well, my thumb hits on beat 1, 1, right, 1. Then I have a slap on 2, 2. 3, there's nothing on 3, and then here we go, and 4, and. So there's and, 4, and. That's thumb, slap, thumb. So in the end it turns into the thumb hits on 1, we have a slap on 2, and then and, 4, and is thumb, slap, thumb. All together again, that's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and E minor, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2. That makes up the first part of it. Then we have a little bass run. So let's look over the left hand and see how the bass run works. We're going to keep our E minor chord on strings 4, 3, 2, and we'll be playing that with AMI. And then in the meantime, in between, we're going to go on the low E string, 2, 3, 2, 3, and then on the A string, 2. So it's and in between, we play strings 4, 3, 2 together with AMI, and it looks like this: fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb. Altogether, that's, again, that's fingers, thumb, thumb, thumb. So that's the chord part of it. Now, all we do to play the melody once we insert that is just add it with the chords. So it gets a little tricky. So the first thing I would do is learn the melody by itself, then throw it in with the chords. So check this out. The melody we have is really simple. Open E string, then B string, 3rd fret, open B string, back to B string, 3rd fret, and then open 1st string. So that's the first little line. So you learn that, you play that a bunch of times. And if we look over at my right hand real quick, here's another pro tip for you. If you're going to play a melody, rather than use the same finger, you'll see me talk about this all the time. Just alternate your fingers back and forth. Doesn't really matter which fingers. I like to use index and middle, so that makes it a lot smoother to play than me having to hop around and sort of pick at it like a chicken or something. So when we put it together with the chord, it'll sound like this. Starting with my normal groove, and then I'm going to change where my fingers go. So let's look at my right hand again. I've just done my slap on beat 2. Now I'm going to take my chord up to wherever the top note of the melody is. So it's here. So that's still the regular same groove, but I've just moved my fingers to a new spot so the melody note's at the top. Then I'm going to put my pinky down, holding this chord now, at the same time with the melody. Right? So then it's time to switch chords. Here comes the B7 sharp 9, and we have as our melody, which is all part of that chord too. Now here we have a melody that's faster than the groove, so just play the melody by itself. And then we go back to the groove. So that second melody, if you look over here, I'll play it slow for you on the left hand. With the chords down, that's then we have our bass line. Then we repeat it again. Switch chords. Now this part's a little bit different, so we start out just melody. And then just simply open first string, 3rd fret. And here, I can lift off the whole chord because it's an E minor chord. So I'm just playing AMI on strings 3, 2, 1. And that's the whole verse. So let me play that for you in a relatively slow pace. You're welcome to try to play along with me as you're learning. for the pre-chorus. The pre-chorus basically has two sections that are a little bit different groove-wise. You notice I always want to talk about the groove first and then throw in the melody in. So the first part of the pre-chorus is similar to the verse. It's kind of like you play a little bit of the melody and then you play the groove. And then it's the melody and then the groove and you go back and forth. So let's start with that part. So let's take a look at the left hand and we'll figure out exactly what the melody is. We play open B, open E, and then I do this thing where I kind of do a lot of hammering on the B string 3rd fret because I, rather than play the notes. So it's, that's the beginning part. So that's B, E, 3rd fret, B string, E, 3rd fret, E, 3rd fret, E. Then you do the same thing here. B, then the 2nd fret on the E string. This is pluck the note, pull it off. And then B, 3rd fret E string. And then finally, B, 5th fret to the 3rd fret. And then slide from 5 to 7. So that's the first part we're going to learn. So what it does is we go like this. And then we go to our C major 7, and we play the bass note, 5th string, and the 1st string with our A finger, and we do the groove. So let's zoom out and take a look back at the right hand now. Looks like this. I like to play always notes with different fingers, so, and then, so there's the new-ish groove. That's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3. Similar but slightly different than the verse groove. We put them together, it sounds like this. 4, 1, 2, 3. Now on to the next chord. So each one kind of has the end of the 4 beats playing the melody, and then 1, 2, and 3 is the groove. So let's take each melody section with each chord. First is the C major 7 with, looks like this. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to hit this one, the B7. Now you'll notice I'm playing a regular B7 and not a B7 sharp 9. That's because I want to grab this melody note on the 2nd fret. Another thing you can do too, is if you want to add more percussion, is go. So you can slap that first note and actually flick it. Let's move to the right hand one last time to check this out. So what I do to get this flick sound is I bring my thumb down and at the same time that I'm flicking my finger out to hit the note. So that just adds a little more percussion. So back over to the left hand, that's 3, and then the next one, or if you want to slap it, E minor now, but with this G up here, this 3rd fret, 1st string in the melody, and then, so that's all together, nice and slow. Melody, chord, melody, chord. One more time, melody, chord, back and forth. Melody, chord. Melody, chord. Melody, chord. Okay, now we're ready for the next part. So this is all about combining a moving bass line and a moving melody. And it's actually really cool when you get to put it together. So here's the bass line. 6th string, 2, 3, 2, 3, and then 5th string or A string, 2. And then the melody is really simple too. We're up here at the 7th fret and on the 1st string, 7, 5, 3, 0, or sorry, 2. 7, 5, 3, 2. If you put those together, it's 7, 5, 3, 2. That's the first thing you want to do. And if you look at my right hand, all I would do first is just do thumb and ring finger on those outer notes. So it would look like this on the right hand. Now if we zoom out and get the overall picture again, as you play them together, you just go. So the first note's by itself, and then together, 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 together. Now, to add some extra cool elements in there, we're going to use our index finger to play the open G string on the in-between beats. So then it turns into. Again, that's. And that's that section. And then finally, we finish out the pre-chorus by going back to our kind of our initial groove, and we just follow this line. And all I'm doing there is I'm doing 3-note chords, but my A finger is constantly hitting whatever the melody note is. So follow this melody. E string, B string, B string 3rd fret, B string 1st fret, B string, G string 2nd fret, B string. Again, that's. And if you do that with the chords and the 4-note chords, taking a look at both my right and left hands now, it'll look like this without the slapping. We make our B7 chord and we go B string, G string 2nd fret, B string, G string 2nd fret, B string, and then we just kind of run up the arpeggio with a slap if you want, or without. And then we get to the E minor chord. We're going to add our pinky on G string 2nd fret, and we have G string open, another arpeggio, or with a slap. So let's check that out all in a little bit put together now. So we have. Switch. And finally, when he says that's right, we're going to go like this. Slide from G string 2nd fret to the 4th fret, and then hammer to the 2nd fret. If you want, do this little, which is just kind of a little slide up a fret, down, and then off. So, and at the same time, you're going to hit the melody of the chorus, which comes next, which is the D string. So, when you pull off, you hit the D string. All right, we're finally at the chorus. This is taking a lot longer than some of my other videos because this is, I think, a lot harder to play than some of the other videos. So, as we get into the chorus, the groove you really want to start practicing is bass line plus slaps first. So, the first chord we're going to have is the C major 7. And actually, you can even take the 2nd finger off to make it a sus. So, it's bass, bass, slap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next chord. 1, 2, 3, and 4. E minor. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you can get that groove, that helps you go a long way. Then we add the melody. Follow me on the melody with the left hand. I'm not going to say the names of each note now, because at this point you're probably getting the hang of it. I'm mostly just going to play it nice and slow so you can follow. So that's. G string, open D. So let's play just that part, because I am dripping in finesse. So we have our C chord, and we're going to go like this. Play the D string open, and then for this note, because I like to get a lot of percussion in there, I'll do the slap flick. So check out my right hand. I'm going to play it, then flick it, and then we just play the melody and do that same thumb bass line. Again, that's. Sometimes I think it's really helpful to pull off to a note. Pull your finger off to the open string. So let me play that nice and slow for you. Then we do a little harmonic thing. I go up to the 5th fret, use my pinky, and I'm just going to touch the string right around the 5th fret, not press it down, and play. We do those harmonics. Then we move to the next chord. Here's the melody. That's more or less what he does in the song. So I'm just hammering on the G string to the 2nd fret, and then open B string. That's over the B7 chord, so it looks like this. And then when I have extra space, I just make an arpeggio with my fingers and move it all the way up. So that looks like this. Harmonics. Same thing here. And then we're going to take fingers 1 and 2, put them on the G string and the B string, 3rd fret G string, 1st fret B string. We're going to do a slap flick over 2 strings, and then start just playing the notes with index and middle. And then we go here. So the bass line is 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's over 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you get to start it over again. So let me play that nice and slow for you so you can play along. Sometimes if we go too slow, it's almost more confusing. It's easy to just kind of slow it down and play along. Finally, when we want to move out of it, we go back to the intro. Big ups to you if you've made it this far. All we've got left is the bridge. So let's stick it out and do this thing. I think the bridge is pretty easy too. So with the bridge, we're finally getting rid of some of the slapping for a little bit. And we're going to start on the C major 7th. And I just like to play the chord as it is with strings 5, 3, 2, 1, P-I-M-A. And then we're going to hit B string 3rd fret, E, 3rd fret, E. Then we move to a B7, play the whole chord on strings 5, 3, 2, 1. And that's 2nd fret E string and open E. And then we move to an E minor. From the 3rd to 2nd fret. And then finally we go to a D minor, kind of a weird chord. Basically it's just 3rd string 2nd fret, B string 3rd fret, E string 3rd fret. Play those all in order, strings 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're going to slide the melody up here from 7 to 8. We make a big fat G chord like this. 6 E string 3rd fret, and then high E string 7th fret, and we play 6, 3, 2, 1 on the right hand. And if you can really make the stretch, go like this. Just for an added style. We'll bring it down to the 5th fret, and then you're ready to start over again. But with a slightly different melody. So now we go. The C major 7, but we have to modify it so we can get to these other notes. Back up to the 5th fret, and then a B7, and then an E minor. So first, do that without a rhythm. Then when you want to add the rhythm, the bass line basically just does this. It goes, 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. So, and that's all with the thumb, every single thing. So watch my right hand as I play through each chord. And check, focus on the thumb. I'll play everything, but focus on the thumb. And then we have our next one. And then we finally get into if you want to slide that up, and then we go to a B7. Now here, finally, we do the same thing as our percussive strum, but instead of being percussive, we're going to play the B7 sharp 9. So, and then we're ready to jump back in. If you made it through the whole video, thank you so much for sticking with me. Hope you enjoyed this advanced tutorial on how to play Finesse. Let me know in the comments if you liked the video, what you think I could do better with the tutorials. Am I moving too slow? Am I moving too fast? Really anything. How are the camera angles? Because I'm just trying to get better at tutorials for you guys. Also be on the lookout because I should be putting out some new covers soon. Thanks for sticking with me. Make sure to like and subscribe.